I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa, effort on bills for ready. Whoa, whoa, effort on bills for ready. I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa, effort on bills for ready. Whoa, whoa, effort on bills for ready.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Between the Lines, here presented to you by Live Wire Sports. We are on to season 2, ladies and gentlemen, and hey, season 2 can be just as good as season 1. Season 1, we had a lot of different guests on here, from former professional athletes to senators to people just out in the community doing good, coaches, fans. We just had everybody on Live Wire last year. Had everybody on Between the Lines. We're glad to bring another season back to you guys. The last episode was December, so we had a little bit of a wait, but we had a lot of people actually asking for the show, so we said we had to get back on here. So we are back again with season 2 of Between the Lines, presented to you by Live Wire Sports. I am your host, Shaq Richardson, and we are here to educate you, to entertain you, and just have some good conversation about sports, as well as get the story from some of our sports athletes here in the Virgin Islands that we don't often get to tell. So without further ado, our first guest for season 2, definitely well deserving of our first guest. He's definitely going to bring some energy to you guys here tonight, and definitely going to be a post that you talk about forever on this Between the Lines podcast. We want to give a big warm welcome to our guy, Mr. KIRK Thomas. KIRK, how you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening, one.
Good evening. Look, KIRK, you ain't a shy guy, so don't come out here being shy.
No, man, it's your thing. This a big time thing I got going on. So I just want to say good evening to one another. I feel blessed to say that I kicking off season 2. Number 2 is my number, so it's fitting.
Hey, listen, everything happens for a reason, right? I tell you, everything. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this here real quick. Listen, a lot of people know who you are, KIRK, but they don't really know who you are. And that's what the purpose of the show. We like to get the story out there of some of our Virgin athletes and the people in our community to really get the true image of who the person is. So let's start off by talking about sports. What was the first sport you ever played?
Well, I think the actual first sport I ever played was actually baseball. It started out in my backyard in Old Tutu. It wasn't even like it started at the ballpark. It started in the backyard. We used to have some wicked games in between my house and Miss Harley's house. That included the likes of, everybody know who Coleman Harley is, but to me I know him as Junie. That we actually grew up the Kenny, Kibo, Monique, my sister who passed, Alison. We used to have some wicked game before. We had a fence in between the house them. We used to have a game in between the 2 yard them. And then we start playing from Miss Harley, Laundry Room, and Gomez School, kind of was the street side. And that's where it really started. And that's why I actually learned a lot of the game, playing in the backyard of them 2 residents.
And you know what's crazy? A lot of people don't understand, and they will be surprised on how much you learn outside of your sport. Like you learn it, like you say, in the backyard. And you take those skills that you had in the backyard and actually put them onto a baseball field. You can learn a lot outside of the field setting, honestly.
Yeah, that setting was totally different, because it had the boys, it had the girls. So basically now, speaking honestly, I learned to jump double dutch, play hopscotch, we play baseball. I mean, we do a lot of, red light, green light. Them are the things we actually grew up playing.
Right.
As far as growing up. But I was kind of awkward too. I left-handed, right in, throw left hand, but I actually naturally came a batting right hand.
No,
but,
that's crazy. That's really crazy.
Yeah, and like I say, again, backyard baseball. My cousin Sergio Paul, he's who teach me actually how to bat left hand. So before I even come to the ballpark, I was actually learning to switch hit, like 8, 7, 6, map stick, or the pickaxe you take. We used to broke a lot of broomstick and thing and get ourselves in problem, but it was for the fun of it.
You know that power coming because I was about to say if you breaking broomstick aside of your grandmother broomstick, your mother broomstick, it ain't yours because you are 8 years old, so it's not yours. You're breaking
No, that's how it was. That's how it was.
No, was this the only sport you played growing up?
Well, growing up, I did a little track and field, but I always, when we get older, we get macho and stuff. So I thought track and field for pansies. So in high school, me, really follow up in no track and field. I played a little flag football. When in the States, I played a little tackle. That day was a different kind of world, but baseball, softball was always my thing. But as an athlete, anything possible, we could play anything.
That's true. That's true. That's when you're more than a baseball player, more than a football player. You're an athlete where you're able to at least hang around in most of the sports.
Yeah, I could fit into anything. At one point, I remember when Stanford had 2020, I went to the cricket man, them tell them I want to play. That was a big thing. They were making the big money.
Right.
I wanted to be part of the cricket organization. I'd be like on a bat. That thing was big, funny between myself and Bonner Douglas. We always had that crack that joke. Give me that. Dougie went from a cricketer complete softball, so I couldn't play softball and go be a cricketer.
Hey, you're so right. You're so right about that. Now, one of the things I really, really wanted to know now, how did all those sports that you played? You played football, you did some track and field, you did some tackle football. How did any of those sports translate over into your baseball career?
Well, in actual reality, living in Old Tutu, McBean was my backyard. When I got a little older, the likes of it, back then is a family type of lifestyle. Whereas my grandmother used to walk C&M Caroon. At the time, everybody knew him as Bobby, but Atnil Thomas, which is Bobby, that was like the big man of Old Tutu. He was like an idol. He was the man. So when Bobby was done school and Bobby heading over the hill, I would let my grandfather know I going McBean. Bobby wasn't my exit to McBean.
Right.
And coming to McBean had everything. Basketball, baseball, paddleball, tennis. He got everything. So this was the backyard for me, McBean. And coming here, I started, I came or attempted to be part of the lead program before I was actually age 9.
Right.
And back then, your board, my board is me, and it falling funny. So I was 8 years, and I couldn't get no team. Back then, it was ran league programs were ran by Housing Park and Recreation. I couldn't get in the league. I had to actually wait another year. So the likes of Jack, Mr. Brooks, he's who end up being around, and Elton Hodge, rest in peace. That's how I end up coming into Little League baseball here in Old Tutu. I started on the Dodgers.
Now, moving on from Little League baseball. Well, not moving on, because did you make any All-Star teams or anything at that age?
Well, I don't have, let me say it out because somebody called me a ham today. I don't have that paperwork I saw today. I saw some immaculate paperwork today that, impresses you. But I was actually part of a few All-Star teams, and in life you learn certain things. At that time back then, we had curfew. We had curfew. You better be home by a certain hour.
Right.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock was the hour. At that age, 10 and 11 and stuff. I was about 11, and we were trying for 11 to 12 All-Star. And we had practice, and 7 o'clock come ask the coach. At the time, the man who was working us out hard, Alvin Morton, what time it is? I could always remember this. And he said, 7 o'clock. I pick up my bag, bus off. I got to go. I got to head home. I run through the gate. I run up the hill. When I reach the top of the hill, I start panting right with Justin them houses across from Pogo grandmother. I could remember this panting. And when I reach home, it's like, what you panting for? You mean, they tell me be home 7, I was home a little after 7, but it wasn't that bad. But that just, actually propel you to understand, certain things. And we used to get a lot of licks from the West. In 1984, we finally cleared a hump where the likes of Ray Richardson, which is Bobo, Sean White, Cord Gums, we finally cleared a hump of beating the West in 1984. And that was a good thing. Telling my age kind of now, but that's actually when, and it was so funny, saw a gentleman who's still here, Roylando Smith, and he bring up that 1984 All-Star because West was very dominant. West was pointing east and east. And he bring up and say, I just remember, like, we were the first team to lose in a long time. Well, 1984, I could attest to that. We were actually victorious and went to St. Croix, hooked up in a battle. At the time, Stanley Ludwig was our big man here in St. Thomas. That's Anson brother. Everybody, he's Butch. We had Stanley Ludwig. Kojak was on that team. And when Stanley Ludwig get a ball, people, they were lights out. So we had a wicked game on the island of St. Croix in '84, down there in Wim, where Stanley Ludwig, and this was the first time for me, actually, when we went to St. Croix, we saw the 200-foot fence that was up in Wim. So you come to the park, we were staying in Villa Morales, we get a little visit to the park early, and we see this 200-foot fence, and we like, what? My son, we gonna kill these, man. That was the attitude of the team. We gonna kill these, man. You know what I mean? Because we know who he is. We know who he is. But
when a bigger field.
My son, when that night, when it's time to come, we come to the park, and like when we see the other side, we're like, what? How they so big? They can't be 11 and 12 years. Impossible. I could ask remember Sean Nolan was on the opposite side. They had a young lady playing shortstop at the time for St. Croix All-Stars also that same year. But I was feeling confident. Frankie Bratwitt was the manager. Anson Lashivu Sr. was a coach. And we were confident because in our bullpen, you're hearing pow, pow. And in the other bullpen, Sean Nolan powing too. And it was rather a show. It was a show that man put on, a show. A proper piece of ball game, very competitive. It was like a 2-1 ball game or 1-0, something of the such. But them are our times. Them the times.
No, I want to point out something that you mentioned us. You mentioned a lot of guys that you play ball with that you are still friends with now. How important is it for sports at a young age for children to kind of build those friendships, build those bonds with lifelong friends?
Well, the good thing is, and we're seeing it still today. We're seeing it still today. The children them doing better than the adults by far.
Yeah, definitely.
By far, the children them doing better than the adults. I have gained many childhood friends through the sport of baseball in itself. Talking about, I just mentioned Sean Nolan. I just see Sean Nolan in Miami, and me and Sean don't pass each other no place at no given time. It's like we still recognize each other, we still know who each other is. Some that guy spoke about when I really learned to pitch at age 15 in an All-Star game. They used to call him Satan. I think he was Junior Antoine. Knocked me out of Parley Joseph ballpark. Not the stadium, not the regular fencing. He had another wall behind the fence. This dude had knocked me out the park. I learned to pitch after a home run. But these are people. I could sit down here, Roy Lando, Casey Hendricks. Casey Hendricks, a few years ago, I was in DC. Went to my daughter was in a show. We went to watch Casey's son play. Casey and I ain't grow up in the same area. We ain't play country. Casey play tongue, I play country, but we met each other in Little League at that young age. So, and then a lot of our families are friends. Roy Lando Smith, I talk about him. Again, Abu Bakar, Larry Thomas, Dwight Rogers. These are men that are big men now. We still They hit up each other, talk to each other. Ascari for you. Andy Duru. Now Ascari and Andy, we went to school in the country, but in our young little league career, we played against each other, East versus West. Then we joined each other on the same team, Blue Jays for senior league. But right now, the youth doing better than the adults when it comes to actually knowing what it is to go in, play a game, and come out.
Definitely, and I guess it's always good to see them kids like moving on in life and they play on the same little league team, and sometimes the kids move away, but they still remain friends. I guys love to see the companionship these children are having today, and like you said, they way better than the adults right now, and
They're way
I
better than the adults.
they can put us in a better place in the sporting world. I definitely believe so.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from that, but before we go, I definitely got to let you know, as a Westman, so this interview might not last too long if we keep talking about East like that, really and truly.
No, well, as a country child, you know. As a country child, Joseph Gomez, Border Sibo Shelter, Evan Idoraken, as a country child. As a country, I ain't slip up and drive tongue. As a country child.
Everything good in tongue, but we can come back to that.
Yeah.
So, where did you play junior high and high school baseball?
Well, we had no baseball back then. That's the funny thing, you know. Back then it was softball. Back then when we were actually in high school, and I didn't even think when we were in BCB in 85, 86. I don't even think we were playing no JV or what we have now, them kind of thing. But the big thing for us was fast pitch softball in high school. At that time, again, rivalry. Two catchers, left-handed. Kirk Thomas catching, Michael Thomas catching, two brothers facing each other. So people, you could believe what kind of drama that was, excitement. You had Neville Amy, champion, used to throw for Charlotte Amali.
Mm-hmm.
We had Gregory Hansby. We had a few, you know what I mean? But it was Idora Ken, Charlotte Amali. But trust and believe now. You hear what I tell you? West was very dominant playing baseball in Little League. When it came to that fast pitch softball, Ivani Doraken with Rocky Laibord was doing big things. A lot of championships. Steady. And then when we left, it continued. The trend continued with Fleming. Ivani Doraken was winning.
Okay. We want to give a big shout out to the guy you mentioned, Gregory Hansby. That's my uncle, so definitely big up.
Yeah, Eggy. That was my teammate, my classmate. Same graduating year. We actually. So you know, your uncle used to handle himself. He used to handle himself on the battlefield.
No, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I've heard that around the ballpark as of lately, where the guys of your generation are played softball rather than baseball. Now, at what point did it turn into high school baseball or outside league baseball before rather than softball, I would say?
I think it actually got to be like 94, 95, because I think Pogo them graduate like 93, 94. I think they were maybe the first set to actually play the baseball. So maybe it was 93, 94. I left 90. I left 90. So it had to be wrong that time. But baseball wasn't in play back then. But like 93, 94 probably is when baseball actually came upon the high school scene.
Okay. Now
that's what I believe.
Would you say you left the island? Now, did you leave to go to college at that point?
No, I was too smart for myself. My mother to tell me so smart, he's so dumb. I was too smart for myself that when Hurricane Hugo, everybody who actually went through Hurricane Hugo 1989, I actually came back I went the same Dwight Rogers I talking about. I went Harrisburg, Pennsylvania a summer, stayed by him. The thought process he had was, I gonna stay up there for school. All happened is my plane ticket was a little later than when the first week of school. So when I came back as a senior, I had a full schedule, 7 classes. What I did with 7 classes, I done got 22 credits. Just need English and a half a credit via history. Why am I going 7 classes? So like I said, I was too smart for myself that after the first half of the school year, I went back and started giving the teachers their textbook. Like the French class, I went and tell the French teacher, drop me from your role, I ain't coming back. I feel I would do my own thing.
Right.
I would do my own thing. Now, the funny thing is, the same way it happening today, it was happening then. He had Miss Valerie Johnson, Sarah Cornell was the principal. They want to know, Cork, what you doing on the bench? I had the bench because me in a class. But by the time they go inside to check my schedule and come back outside, I done given. But that play only lasts for so long, because when report card time come, I had this one teacher, Miss Coleman. She was mad. That was my trigonometry teacher. She ain't dropped me from no rule. And what actually happened was, Miss Coleman kept me on. Me even think he had that much days in the marking period.
Right.
But she put that number on my report card. That number was my report card.
All those absences?
All them absences. So when it comes time for report card, it's one of them situations like certain things you just stick with you. When it comes to the report card now, my mother looking at the report card and seeing Matt. Matt, I get 50. Cork, you don't get no 15, Matt. That don't happen. Because Matt always been my thing, Shaq. Matt numbers always been my thing. I could rattle off numbers, bam, bam. That was always my thing. I don't know why, but it was just always numbers. So my mother was like, you don't get no 50 pounds. Now what going on? When my mother realized what it was, my mother said, oh, this is absences, partner. You go to school every day? Every day. I was raised by my mother and community help. My aunt them and my father side basically step up big time. At the time to my father girlfriend, which is my sister Diana Donnell and mother Leela. Leela played a role in also, raising me, my aunt Rena. So yeah, my father might not been there every footstep, but on the side of my father, my aunt them, my grandmother Leah Thomas, who died past Etobot Thomas, my grandfather, and my father say, they still played a role in me growing up. We had this conversation up some night ago. My mother still used to drop me bluebirds. I used to go bluebirds. Me and Diane, we had this joke some night ago that Diane and I kind of grew up bluebirds together. Donnell and Mikey, the first and the fourth, they got their clean, Diane and I got our clean. It was one of them things. So what ended up happening is now I was so smart for myself. My mother outsmart me because I was good in sports. At that age, like I say, the story just runs around. At that age, I was playing ball. I was playing double at age 15, 16 with the Astros. You could have given me the ball in a double header. I would throw 2 games in the hot sun. We had no legs then. Start 10 o'clock. The second game starting 1:32. Just give me the ball twice. Yeah. I was like an Iron Man. I would train the ball at that time. And I was peaking. I was actually peaking. But peaking and then a single mother raising two children. My sister just went college, graduated in 1988. Here am I 2 years later, 1990. Ain't had no scholarship knocking on doors like that.
Right.
Ain't had scholarships from the place knocking on doors. And my mother said, partner, we got something. I got something for you. She ain't Satan. But she showed smart because I kind of sensed something was happening, but I was outsmarting the happening. Because when I on the bench lining, when the recruiter come in the school, because back then the recruiter them for the army and things used to be up and down in the school. When he come into the school, I disappearing. So one man and my mother lingering. And my mother is a woman used to be anybody who know Maxine Fleming working at Chase Bank. 7:05, I'm sure she used to be in the bank already sitting at all this. And my mother lingering a man in. And what going on? Me and you going tongue part. Straight to the federal building. I march in the recruiter's office, and that was the end of the story.
Wow.
I raised, I got signed up for the army one time. It was one time. It was one time thing. No wasting time. So
I bet you wish I went back to them classes. You're jumping on top.
Well, it was a blessing. I wouldn't knock the military. It was a blessing. Like I said, my mother already had one child in college. The intent was for me to actually go army, go college when I done. I still got a GI Bill up to now, 20 plus years later. I got some college credits, I just need to maybe complete. But I went through the military. I had a good time in the military. Right. I could also tell you sports stories when it comes to the military.
So let's get some stories. Did you play sports in the military?
Yeah, that was one of the things that actually got me through my first year in the army. You go to basic training. Basic training, I went in Desert. When I joined the army, it was Desert Shield. While I was in basic training, it became Desert Storm. So while at Fort Knox, Kentucky, you saw many soldiers come through during the training. When I got to Fort Benjamin Harrison in Indiana, our class was actually set upon graduation to head out to be part of the Saudi war. Luckily, the war ended before we actually were deployed. Right. So what ended up happening is my first duty station was Seoul, Korea. So at 17 years, hey, this is a young boy done heading out the country. I heading to Korea. And I was assigned to 509 PSC, which is a personnel service command, up in the west, up close to the second ID. I was up second ID Camp KC, close to North Korea. So it was always living on the edge. Right. And while there, again, you run into people the first month. I was like a lost soul. Just I run up a AT&T, I could have an AT&T phone card in no time. In no time. Cause all I was doing was on the phone. On the phone. And that couldn't work. That couldn't work because now you're in the real world. You ain't got no mommy, no grandpa, no auntie paying the bill for you. All of that is on you. You're in the real world. So, hey, it is, I using up my money just talking on the phone. No, man, something have to change. And in Korea, the barracks life was a family. It was a family event. People from all over. You had the. I was never one to yank. So people used to just laugh at me when you're speaking and stuff. But at the same time, we had a gentleman there, Mr. Ortiz, Sergeant Ortiz from Panama. He was bad. He done flash his Caribbean and you when he show you his baseball ring. You know what I'm saying? And you like, what? So him and I kind of cling. He was at E6, I was a little private, but we cling because now when we go in the break room and we talking, we just yeah. We ain't no cutting no corners. So one day he comes to the barracks and say, I know you was a VI, I knew you was a Caribbean man, and Caribbean man could play ball. Them man got a tryout for the post softball team. And the softball field was like a little, just a 10-minute walk from our barracks, 10-15-minute walk. And I say, yeah, I got gloves and I got some cleats. He said, well, that's all you need. And we roll over there. It was a guy named Maybury, a big strapping. He was fat at the time, but he was strapping. And it was, you going out to try for ups and drop, slow pitch. So at 17, 18 years then, I was cocky. I still had a live arm. So I know I just lose what I had. Right. I know lose what I had. So when we head out to the field now and reach into the field, the trials don't start. This is a post-Saval team, Camp Casey. For those who've been in the military, Camp Casey is up in the hills. So everybody wanted to get something to do. And it was where only 15 man will make this roster. But when you head out on the field, there's over 200 plus people and you're like, what? What you come out here to do? So we enter the field and the coach who knocking the ball and like, where you could play. And for me, it's like, I mean, where you could play any place, partner. How you mean any place? Any place you put me, I can play. But I see you have a glove. What you gonna do? I throw left hand. So how you could play any place? Any place you put me, I can play.
All around.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't put left-handers on the infield and stuff, but I just saying wherever you want me to play, I could play. So he said, you know what? You head out in the outfield since you this guy. So I run out in the outfield and he have a lot of people in front of me, but the coach decided to call and me. I guess he feel he'll get rid of me quick. Like, yeah, let me get rid of this one quick. At that time, I still young. I still got legs. I still got live arm. 18 years. Me ain't care where he had hit them. I run them down. I catch them. I run them. I throw them in. After a few, he call me in. Say, no, man, you run. I run, come in. That's my thing. I run on and off the field. I run, come in. And he say, leave your information. We gonna get back to you. So the Panamanian dude, like, what kind of thing this is? I bring you out there and you gone before me? No, man. So, I actually played for Cam Casey post our team at the age of 18. We was a small team. We entered a tournament that played down in Seoul, Korea against the Navy, other army companies and stuff. We were a small team. I talking small in stature and size. We maybe had Maybury and another white boy. All them man were different, so just try and knock bombs. And we actually placed first run up in a 4th of July tournament back then that put us in place where we actually earned a spot to play in Okinawa, Japan, to actually go play in a Saba tournament on a Navy base. And that too was a good thing. At the same time, the general of the post, he used to come to all our games. And, we represented the post well. And he took to Ortiz and I. He took to the Caribbean boys, and he are just like we. Wherever I need. So when it come time, the tournament would have been around 4th of July. I was a party animal. I don't miss St. Thomas Carnival, and I wasn't missing 4th of July. 4th of July was my carnival to enjoy myself. I don't have it marked on my calendar. Coming home, late June, I gonna be there for 4th of July before I head to wherever other duty station they had for me. And when I came, when it come to that, and they were like, "Hey, you got a tournament," and the general like, "I hear you on PCS," and I said, "Yeah, general, I going home." So the tournament was actually before 4th of July in Okinawa also, and the general like, "Okay, here what? If we keep you an additional 2 weeks, just so you could be playing in Okinawa, would you stay?" I said, "General, once I could get home in time for 4th of July, I could stay."
Right.
So basically, I stayed an additional week and a half in Korea just to play ball in Okinawa. I was glad to say I was able to actually see Okinawa through playing sports. My next duty station was Fort Lewis, Washington. This way, my playing sports expanded. At Fort Lewis, Washington now, I played flag football. We were private stock. And then I played tackle football for the Fort Lewis actually unit up there. I guess some licks in that. Me minding them were tackle. Tackle football is a different breed.
Uh-huh.
I believe you could transition. Don't mind them with that. Tackle football is a different breed. When you get a lick, you'll understand yourself like, what? Why I really put myself into? But flag football, we were very competitive. That we used to in the army too, you were like the same thing in St. Thomas, tackle flag. Them man hitting you, the referee throwing the flag. So you gotta get tough. You got to be tough in the game.
Definitely.
So that's my game, my sports actually, and liking of sports expanded there from softball, baseball, actually into football. Played some flag football, and again I said played tackle. While there at Fort Lewis, I actually received an invite to try out for the All Army team in Virginia. Now, I don't know how the letter get there to me, but come to find out, the letter was something sent through the connect of Ortiz, Sergeant Ortiz. When he left Korea, I left before them, but when he left Korea, he was assigned to Virginia. And somehow he got my information and I got an invite for the All Army team. But there was about seriously speaking, the letter, I was excited about it. I was very excited about the letter because all you to do on the All Army is play ball. You can imagine being in the military and all you doing is going to play ball, that was like
great
my
experience.
that would have been my job. But there's the funny thing about it, the football is what stopped me from actually going all army. I guess up to this day, look the difference in two hands. Look at this. A hairline fracture. I've been taking PT tests. I was doing my PT test then because to go all army, you gotta actually do a physical. You gotta do a PT test and stuff. And I was actually, I did my PT test, but when I did the physical, the hairline fracture now allowed, just canceled me out from all army. That was the end of that. That was, you can't go. You can't go. That was it for me as far as playing that, having that thought process of all army. But I came back home. I left the service in 94, November 94. My actual PCS date or ETS date of the military was January 1995. I entered January 91. Did 4 years, and ever since then, been home.
Now, moving forward a little bit more with that, sports really impacted your life in a great way. What are some of the things that you took out of playing sports and applied it to your life?
Hey, the one thing about playing sports, you always keep your head up. You always keep your head up. You will face obstacles. Then you learn. You have great friendships. You got people mighty like you at the same time. You still smile with them and keep it moving. But at the end of the day, sports it play a big role. It play a big role. We could sit down here and mama guy and laugh about it today, but liming and sports went hand in hand at the same time, because back then ain't much girl looking them man who ain't doing nothing. So you're liming or you're sporting. I was doing both. So it was one of them things that fared well. And when we talk about league baseball and life and sports, Miss Yvette Williams, she's who actually got me into baseball as a coach. Yvette Williams, I was at immigration and custom immigration at the time, and Yvette Williams was the secretary or executive assistant for the bars there, and she was like, I knew you could play the game. We need some new blood. Come out and be a coach. Come out and be a coach. And in coming out and being a coach, I actually, that was 1995. But before that, when I was in the army, I actually been in and out coach in 1993. I coached the Cardinals. I think it was with Peterson from up Raleigh. I think Son were on that team. That was back then. And I was day run passing. I helped with the Blue Jays. That was my cousin. And so I would, during the army, when I come home, you do a little thing. And when I finish working at immigration with Yvette, she got me into Little League baseball. And that was back in 95, 96. Probably, no, I went training in 96. So it had to be like 96, 97.
You can't share information, but we need that information. We need that information.
Hey, you could go on where you want. I make another body. I just make another body last week. And I'm so glad that I here to talk to you and the listening audience another day. You got a lot of people. You got a lot of people had corona. 500,000 plus they make it. He's one of the survivors.
Hey, you got a really good point there. You gotta be thankful for life. Appreciate all the years, all the wisdom. You're right about that. Definitely. Yeah. No, was there a point where baseball being your favorite until football kind of took over? Was there any point you wanted to just not play sports? Like you felt you couldn't play anymore, or you just were discouraged by the sport?
I never been discouraged by the sport. Even it had times when I went AA, when I came back from the army, I lost a step. Swinging the bat. I remember it had man couldn't pass me when I was playing ball steady, 16, 17, before I went to the army. When I went in the army, the whole diagram, the whole thing changed. I came back and it's hat trick and sombrero I was getting. And for people who don't know what hat trick and sombrero is, that's 3 and 4 strikeout. in a baseball game. Them man were throwing out, they had them at me and thing. That thing used to be funny playing on Lions. You're frustrated, but it used to be funny at the same time. But I never actually gave up on it because that camaraderie, that enjoyment of going to the ballpark, being part of a team, Bolo, Alfred, Bobby Thomas, we had Mikey, we had Breeze, Masha, you know what I mean? Khalif. It's a lot of man went through the Lions when it come to double A baseball. But we had a good time. I sit down and I always have the conversations with somebody, not younger, but those who are 30 and 25. And I'm watching here and I'm looking on some of the comments and I will mention it right here. Double A baseball. Double A baseball, we never realized what we had. We who played never realized what we had because the likes of Joe Clendenin, Butch Roberts, I was actually able, and let me do the Butch Roberts thing first, and Sam Daly. When we were in 16 to 21 baseball, this was in 1990, when before I left for the Army, we actually went St. Martin to play in a tournament in St. Martin. Butch Roberts, Sam Daly was the charge, led that group of young men. I could think on it, we had Eddie Mapes, Alfred Maduro, Bolo, who else? Ascari, Larry Thomas, Steve Paris, Bucket playing center field. It was so much of us, but Roland, I sitting down here just trying to think names. Dwight, it was Roy Lando. It was a lot of us that traveled on that team in that 16 to 21. Corey Romney and Butch Roberts like paved the way for a lot of us to actually play sports. What Butch Roberts did for us then was, and I saw him doing it up to, lately, was big. That was something big. Then we turn over to Joe Clendenin. We never realized what Joe Clendenin did for us with double A baseball. Joe Clendenin made that avenue for us to have double A baseball where we didn't even realize. We just had liked the game. We linemen, we coming from jam, we got 10 o'clock game, we in the dugout, man laying down, all kind of thing. That was the thing. I played for the Astros in double A. Gala was my coach. Gala used to be like, nah, and I used like one of the future. I want to pitch 2 games. Gala would take me out in the second game, and so it was just great. It was just good time. That double A thing, and I would never. Them were days. Them were good days.
Now we're gonna jump into some real action here, right? What's the biggest accomplishment you had as a player, as an athlete?
As a player, just playing, man. Me, I can sit down and pinpoint different things. Today, I don't get called a ham. We were going through some some articles, some old articles, which to Miss Yepsin, I want to say enough big ups to you. What you did, that portfolio, them folders of newspaper clippings of Basso Elgin Yepsin. People don't know who he is. Really and truly, they're see him walking around here and look at him like Basso is a simple dude. But those of us who know who Elgin Yepsin is, those of us who know who Elgin Yepsin is, really would analyze what this. Some of the articles and stuff I went through, was just tremendous. Yeah. I even lose thought of what you just asked me, just thinking and that book.
I realize it. But your biggest accomplishment as a player, any MVP awards, any tournament awards?
I had a couple MVPs in governmental softball, and I owned one of them playing on a last place team. I was like an A-Rod, that type of situation. When we were with immigration, we used to just have fun. We had a spam team. I believe we were like 1-15, but I had a awesome year. I like, my stats were like just off the charts, but I had one MVP in modified pitch playoffs. We had some good rivalries playing that's our ball game. Double A was again we had some accomplishments. So locally talking, I actually have my little accolades that I could sit down and applaud and pat myself on the back. I had a few MVPs, couple top 10 RBIs, home runs. I somebody called me a ham today, but I wasn't a slouch.
Hey, yeah, be one or the other, right? But you ain't both. All right. So your best stats in a game. Best stats in a game.
To sit down and give you that, you asking for a miracle. You're asking for a miracle, right?
You don't have one game that stand out to you where you say like 6 for 6, 7 for 7.
Couldn't miss the one game. You wouldn't believe the one game that stands out for me didn't even count at the end because Hurricane had ended up coming. We were playing. This was a championship. We were playing rookies. I don't know if it was Storm at the time or Smith Passy, but that series, me and care why hit. I was hitting bombs. I was just having good games every series, and then bam, Storm come in that wipe out a series that never happened. So that I think that was like my ultimate in a modified pitch Sarabali.
Now what year that was? Asking for the age again.
One of them Storm years. When I say Storm, one of them Hurricane type of seasons that passed through. We had a lot of rain at Griffith. And when rain hit Griffith, that was flooding for a while.
But they say that's the old Griffith. They say the new Griffith could hold a little water.
It could hold a lot more. It could hold a lot more. That I can actually attest to.
All right, that's good to hear. Now, moving forward, you said that a supervisor at your job is who kind of get you into coaching, but what made you think that, or what made you feel as if you were the kind of person that could be a coach to give back to the youth of the Virgin Islands? What made you feel that way? Like when did you?
It's like a twofold type of thing. It was easy for me to actually tell Yvette yes, being that McBean was always my backyard. I grew up McBean. Right. This was my home. This way I actually learned life. This was part of learning life. McBean was street. Mm-hmm. Me ain't care what nobody say. You see it all. You saw it all. But one thing, growing up at McBean, there was also a level of respect with the older guys who would also let you to know, partner, over here ain't for you. So don't be in this area. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, I could always attest and say, I never, ever been wrong weed, drugs, none of that. Never do no drugs, nothing. So, and that was a learning thing from being here, McBean, growing up. The older head them were real older heads. That man wasn't trying to encourage you into no stupidness. You're the future. That's how you think. Play sports, whether you're going to tennis court, basketball court, paddleboard. I learned to play basketball here at McBean. I learned to play basketball. I didn't know a thing about playing basketball. But after playing a baseball game and you go in the playground, if you're in part of the Ammon fight, yeah, we had an Ammon fight. It had a tower. It was an Ammon fight. I don't know how I never get knocked out. But we were dumb. But that was our thing. Yeah, we played Ammon fight as children. But as you got older, you learn to play. I learned to play basketball. I went out there and we learned. I couldn't shoot, but just give me something wrong the rim. You'll see. Get it wrong the rim and you'll understand yourself. Just throw them up. I used to go for them. I could have jumped. I could have dunked at the time. We had good times playing in Thanksgiving tournaments. Mm-hmm. That was our highlight. Thanksgiving tournaments back then was the big highlight.
Definitely.
McBean was the mecca of basketball every Thanksgiving back in the 90s.
No, I definitely had both those times. Definitely. And again, that goes back to being an athlete where you're a baseball player. You tried some football, but you get into basketball. You've been around the basketball court. You get into basketball. And it was good to kind of hear you say that people in the neighborhood, they told you away from negative things because you are athlete. They know you are a good boy for the most part, and they kind of push you away from that. So that's a good thing to hear and in that situation for sure.
Very positive thing, man.
Definitely. No, you have a very big role in sports here in the Virgin Islands. But we're gonna take a short break and we'll be back and we're gonna talk about that right after. So between the Lions fans, we'll be right back after this commercial break with more with KIRK Thomas and Between the Lines. Here we go.
I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa, effort I'm built for boundary. Whoa, effort I'm built for boundary.
All right, Live Wire fans, Between the Line fans, we are back here with more season 2 here on Between the Lines. We are still here with our guest, KIRK Thomas. KIRK, you still here with us?
I right there. Hang on, please.
Good. We get into a little bit of your coaching career. I know you got a lot of stuff here going on with the coaching, but we can get into that. A lot of your players, your assistant coaches been pop up in the comments right now as soon as you start talking. So let's jump into that a little bit. Now, what do you coach?
Well, baseball. I in and out doing the baseball thing.
No, I mean, we know why you're in and out. We'll get into that a little bit later. What ages do you coach, or what ages have you coached before?
I do it all. I actually 9 to 12, 13 to 15, 16 to 18. I've actually had a woman league, woman league softball.
Uh-huh.
Them they will drive you crazy, but they're very entertaining, fun to be around. So and even I don't want to say I've been a teams I've played and I've actually been a coach, but I had a voice from even in the outfield. I shouting if I feel something wrong, but that's just me.
And the players them say that they can hear you from wherever it is when you're coming in the parking lot before the game started. They say they don't hear you from there.
Yeah, I had a few players tell me I get soft, and they ain't lying, the mega years, the years when I was fresh off the military. Practices and start time were rough. We went on a little. That's when the East went on a little running. Okay.
All right, I acknowledge it. No, I can leave it slide. But at what age did you get started coaching?
What age I started?
Yeah.
No, you really got me thinking now. How about 20?
20?
How about 20? Because like I say, when I was in the army, I joined the army like at age 17. I was back and forth during leave, so like 93 and then 97 or so. So like 2024 more so I was actually 24, 25 were actually in.
Right.
On a regular basis.
Now I know you said again your supervisor is kind of who got you into it. But what really inspired you? Like what was I have to be a coach. I have to get back to my community. I have to support the youth. What was that for you?
That's what we were talking about earlier. When I say that twofold, it was part of it too was actually like I said, I grew up in that household, mother, grandmother, grandfather, on the other side, grandfather, aunts. My father were in Debo. So when I used to come and play ball and look up in the stands, you look out in the stands or whatever, is my mother, my aunt, my grandfather, them, that my grandmother, that kind of life. So I know I wasn't the only one living that kind of life or grew up in that world. You know, we have a lot of our young men who come through our programs that ain't had that daddy to scream at them or check up on them in school, that kind of vibe. Right. And it actually, you know, played a part. I had a coaching staff that heavily played a role as far as checking on school. We used to go to the school and the teachers had know a lot of we. The teachers had know a lot of we like clockwork. To the point where sometimes, you know, you get the call from the parent that the mother might call and say, Coco, you do me a favor, please? Or this is what happening in school. And when they come to the ballpark, that's easy fix. Back then, they had a lot of them were hung. A lot of them children were hung. I ain't talking a little bit of hung. A lot of them were hung. So you know, in all we had it at the time. I was young. I was making a paper. So I always had that extra little paper I could have helped somebody with. And so I will just, and again, like I say, this was my backyard. This McBean was always my backyard I grew up in. The Alvin Morton, Pooh, may he rest in peace. Alvin Morton, may he rest in peace. Papa, Glenda. These people is who were here, McBean, when they were growing up. Anthony Stradero and Gala. Gala was a big part. Gala used to like umpiring when we were playing. So these are people that I watch work for little or nothing and give back a lot to us. You know, so it wasn't
before you that paved the way to show you how to do it, basically.
Yeah. It wasn't no easy, no like it wasn't tough for me to tell Yvette like yeah. I mean, let's not act like the road was a clean paved slate. You know what I mean? You had your bumps in the road, and you always had your battles. And at that time, I was a different breed. When I say a different breed, your way of coming across to certain people, you know, sometimes my antics were ridiculous. I could sit down here and look at it now. Right. That were ridiculous, but the one thing that I could say here and say to the public, we like to say, oh, he argue too much, but the problem is, if you're going to keep yourself involved in something, update yourself to what you're going to be part of.
You got a point there.
Update yourself. I learned a league rule book back then. I used to take the rule book in the bathroom with me. Sometimes you're loafing, you ain't nothing doing, you take a peep. You know what I mean? You try to understand what's going on. It always have a way. You could always get a one running.
it's something about passion, man, and that's what you're hearing from me, really and truly. That you gotta take it above and beyond when you're passionate about something, and that's really what you're getting out of some of the things that you're saying here, honestly.
Yeah, ain't no easy road. Like I say, a lot of times we might I have got into arguments. I don't get throughout a lot of softball games for sure. That's a fact. Even times when you maybe just look the wrong way. They're waiting for you to say something. They even give you a chance to say something, and you get through. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
When you get through, when you get through, and you don't say nothing, is like the worst throat ever.
They were just waiting for it, man. Waiting for it. No,
Yeah.
this is an obvious question, but again, we want to get this out there for the viewers. We want to really hear just some of the things. Now, have you been able to get any players or help any players, assist them in any way to get to the next level? When I say the next level, I just mean beyond high school.
I have actually. It had guys I got some young men who are like moving in a different realm. I ain't gonna call I don't say they were moving in a different realm, but that man joined the army. In school ain't for everybody.
That's true.
School is not for everybody. And these men were tugging. And you hear it. They ain't catch you, but you heard it. I was in law enforcement. You hear it, you hear these names, and you're like, these men can't be for real. These can't be some of the youth them that you deal with coaching and stuff. And you catch them. You catch them, when I see you catch them, you link up with them, you meet them, you talk to them, partner, go back, get your GED or something. You want to tote a gun? Me telling you, I say, just tell you why here. You want a gun? The army got a lot of gun you could fire. And the legal. If you want to go people out to fire up and down firing gun in the people on the street, the military got a lot of them you could fire. Pick one. When I'm saying army, but pick one. It got a lot of services. So it had a few in that direction. When we're talking about college and school, it had a few that should have been there. But bad advice from some people that make them feel that, yeah, you all that. But a lot of it, we coming from little St. Thomas, US Virgin Islands. We going up into the big US mainland.
Right.
If we ain't that outstanding, like 10 tool, and nobody got no 10 tool, so you know what I mean? We got to be off the chart. You got to fit yourself in and don't act like, if somebody tell you, listen, yes, we understand, you might got to take a step back for 1 year. 1 year. You got some of them might have been in the majors.
Right.
Some of our athletes might have been in the majors. Some of these men I coach. I had some bad talent that I have actually coached. That I know they had it.
Now, without mentioning names, of course, because we want to keep them kind of hidden. Do you have any players that you know, especially like right now? Because we've seen it before in the past. We had players jump straight from high school into the minor leagues and professional baseball. Do you think we have that trend still possible to go on, where we can have kids go from high school straight to professional baseball?
First and foremost, so people can understand, baseball is the hardest sport in major sports. Me don't care what nobody say. Not because I've played it, but you could watch it. Baseball takes rookie league, single A, double A, triple A before you get to the majors.
Definitely.
You got a godfather like Tommy Lasorda that get Mike Piazza into the majors. Them kind of thing. To respect what's going on. Baseball ain't a simple sport. Nobody coming out of high school no more straight into the pros. When last we heard that? When last we really heard that?
You're right.
We ain't hearing that basketball. A man gonna know how the NBA set up. A man gonna dribble the ball for a little while. He gonna go overseas for a year, and bam, next year he in the draft. He ain't have to go college. But baseball ain't a little bit now. Can it happen? It could happen now. We might have it. It still have athletes out here who can play the sport.
Definitely.
They might have to go another avenue to get the baseball recognition, whether it be track and field, a chess club, something, and then you get into a school through a different scholarship type of way and be a worker. We have natural talent. We have natural talent. Right. Our youth them naturally we have that built-in talent that we just could work on and be the star. We have it. We have it. Now, what I will mean? That will mean parents gonna take be investing. Parents gonna need to invest. We can't keep turning to the government and thinking the government gonna give everything. Parents have to put in that investment, and that investment includes time. It includes time.
Now, we know you as a big baseball coach. You coach a lot of all-star teams. What was one of your favorite all-star teams or your favorite all-star experiences you had from coaching?
I would never use the word favorite, but I had some bad teams.
Memorable.
I had some wicked team. The team with Heavy D in like 96 or 97, they were Heavy D, Kyle Lamota. We played in St. Croix. I think we may be last. But then the 98 team, and look, as I say 98, bam, look, 98. As I say 98, they pop up. What people that were a wicked team. Wicked. I believe I could still remember the starting 9 for the 1998 All-Star team. So maybe that's my my most memorable All-Star team. Either batting first or second was Corey Davis. Corey Davis, people, was a bad dude on the diamond. Corey Davis was maybe the first ball player that I was able to coach that when I say shout out, take it away. Ain't no question. I don't have to tell him come up. The word was just shout out, take it away. Corey Davis used to lead from third base and up in your face that the umpire used to have to back him up some. Corey Davis, the Kuma Francis. You had the Samuel brothers, Shamal and Sharim, AJ, Kyle Lamota, Lamar Dabbins, Soto, which was caught night. I'm moving so fast I maybe missed. A wicked team. That was a wicked team. Rashawn Abraham was on that team. Budgie was on that team. Doggy was on that team. Borna Douglas. I'm missing a couple names, but that day was a proper piece of team. That team, we actually went Puerto Rico. We lost our first 2 games, but the third game, we are stifled. We lose to Puerto Rico in the first one. We get stifled into Puerto Rico. The second game we played El Salvador. We get robbed. But the third game we played the defending Little League World Series champion Mexico. We embarrassed Mexico. Everybody want to know who this team is. Just embarrass the world champs. We embarrassed Mexico. We call them off. That 98 team. So again, that was like that may be one of the baddest team I coached. But in 2003 I had a bad team. 2016 I had a bad team. We had some good times. We had some good times. But 98 might have been the baddest. A lot of talent. Some of them guys should have actually been collegiate athletes. Some of them should have really been collegiate athletes.
So we can take 98 as the final answer. You look like you kind of get sway a little bit from the audience, but I'll take it. I can still take it.
No, I ain't get sway, but 98 was a big team. That when I tell you I could remember the team, like most of the players, if not all, that was a big team. Right, that team they was sweet. But 2016 was also a sweet team also.
Now, coaching for a long time now, a little bit over 20 years. I ain't gonna go no further on that. I can leave you take 20 years.
Yeah.
What is your ultimate goal as a coach for your players?
Well, you hope to see them succeed. When you look out and you see them succeed in any direction, it don't have to be baseball. It don't have to be baseball, but succeed in life. Be a success, not a failure. Be something that when people look at you, they say, that's something good. Ain't everybody gonna be that great athlete. Ain't everybody gonna be that sportsman. Ain't everybody gonna be that scholar. At today's day and age, we have these schools offering scholarships. You got people looking for VI children. There have been a trend. Some people have set the way for our VI children. A positive vibes. We got positive people that went through schools. We got people right now that working for schools that looking for more talent. And if we could do it, whether it be volleyball, basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, whatever athlete, you show up and you could get that grade. The greatest thing ain't even to say that, we are always preaching that you want to preach sports, but if you could get schooling out of sports, yeah. I am not, I gonna sit down here, I ain't gonna tell you, I wasn't a dummy in school, but me like school. I don't want to say like school, but
Right.
I was pointing in the direction of the military. It panned out. To this date, every day I say going back to school, I got a set of credits already. I only shot a couple before a degree. And it's to apply yourself, but I wouldn't turn around to tell nobody not to go to school. I have my two eldest, one look like she just get like 5 degrees. I had to say 5, but I believe like 3 or 4, but and then the next one, he on some double major or triple. Them there, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So they like that school thing, and we here to support as our adults, as the parents in our children life, as that one coach or whatever in these children life. Just try to encourage them to just do what's best to help the family. Ain't everybody have it. So schooling, if you could get schooling through sports and your family, what if you have a family that wants to see you go school and you have that little niche in where sports could help it, try to take advantage of it.
Definitely. Now, we in a place right now where we have the talent, we have coaches, we have some facilities that are very, very good. But what is something that we need in the Virgin Islands right now to make sports better as a whole? Not only baseball, but all sports as a whole.
We need to stop staying in the box. We living in a box. This sports wall is living in a box. We afraid to jump out of our box and let people know that we are here. Sports is here. Sports is not just a game. Sports can be a business.
Definitely.
We have it as a game. So we are not, and when I say we, I talking to you, to the parents, because when you just keep thinking the government, that's not the road. You as a parent need to invest in your child. If your child likes something, if it's going to be tennis and that tennis racket unravel, take it and get it restring. If they're going to be into soccer, make sure they got the appropriate gear for the soccer, the shin guard them, the clicks, that kind of thing. If they like basketball, take them out. Lead them go on the basketball court, shoot 100 free throw, 250 free throw. I have a cousin that moved to Orlando. He used to coach our children them here for free. His son liked basketball. He was working 2 jobs. He was working a hectic schedule. So what he had to do, pay a coach. He was paying a coach $70 an hour to put in with his youth. But he ain't failing. But I'm saying he made that investment. He made that investment on a time. So if we plan to try to make life better, we too as a community have to play a role. We can't be up and down. If the government fix the facilities, we can't be vandalizing them.
Very true.
It's a serious thing when you have to sit down and listen to where you have different entities or areas talking about they need to put up cameras. Why are we vandalizing what we are actually fixing to better our community? We want things for our place. We want the infrastructure fixed. We want to have tournaments. We want to bring in schools. We want to bring in college games, whatever. But yet we want to mash up the same facilities that we want to utilize. That makes sense?
Listen, just by listening to the answer right just now, I know exactly how you feel about sports tourism, but how do you really feel about sports tourism?
It's a money maker. It's a money maker. The little things that we have been a part of, the Little League tournaments, the UVI, Down UVI, Paradise Jam. We used to have the sailing, the fishing tournament. We used to have the sailing. These are things when people come to town, it is a big thing. And right now, the VI and we are in the market. Remember now, since COVID, a lot of places are closed. Now it's just for us to go through the process and get things rolling gradually. We can't jump up and say that we're gonna do everything, but it's gonna take a little time, and it's just for the community to understand it's gonna take a little time, especially if we want the proper facilities to actually build our infrastructure so we could be ready for big things. One thing that I would like to see us have, and whether it be RBI, Cal Ripken, Libby as well, them are three different organizations. I attended in 2018 the International Little League Congress in Louisiana. Shocked when I talk about people, 2,000 plus people in the Little League organization attending a conference. You could see that here in the Virgin Islands. In Louisiana, they treated us to a parade. We left from the hotel, went to the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony was one of like the New Orleans Center or something, a big center.
Mercedes-Benz.
Huh?
Mercedes-Benz?
Not the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but one of the halls then. And from there, when you come out of there, it was a big parade. It was a parade. We ever get one of them thing here, we gotta beach them. We could try a bash on the beach. You know what it is? You know what beach bash is? And that's done already selling the island. That's done already selling the island. You set up, whether it be Brewers, Megan's, Cookie, someplace where you could actually have people and you sell it. That conference was large. That conference had me in I talking you were there for 6 days or something like that, or 5 days, 6 days, something like that, every day. Every day. When I talking every day, you got to eat, you got to drink. The hotel restaurant them are ram jam. We could get something like that around here. There'll be any kind of conference. If we ever able to build our infrastructure and we host a conference means a tournament. A conference would be the start and the window to hosting many tournaments. I mean, I answer some of the questions I see people maybe ask about some of the things for sports park and recreation as far as WB as well.
We don't go too fast. Don't go too fast.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna take a quick break. Live Wire fans, we'll be back with more Between the Lines here on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and we'll be back with more with KIRK Thomas after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
every day's not fine, but still I woke up today. Another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, whoa, whoa. Effort, I'm built for born ready. Whoa, whoa. Effort, I'm built for born ready.
All right, between the line fans, we are back. We are back. I would ask if KIRK gone, but I know KIRK ain't got no place. He's still at a bar park, still hanging out here with us. KIRK, you good?
Yeah, I good.
All right. So let's jump into your role here. You have a big role in the Department of Sports, Park, and Recreation. I don't want to mess it up, so I want you to announce it for yourself.
Oh, I am the district administrator for St. Thomas St. John district.
Now, what is your role as that district? You said district coordinator?
District administrator.
What is your role?
I play the role whereas we try to build programs, bring in ideas at the table. We try to assist with the facilities, same thing, infrastructure of our facilities, you know, stuff like that. I mean, it's easier for me to just break down and just go like for each start process in saying it.
What's really interesting is a lot of people don't understand that recreation goes beyond sports. A lot of people don't understand that. For example,
Exactly.
like the beaches and stuff like that. People don't understand these kind of things.
Yeah, that was brand new to me as far as district administrator, even before the lifeguards. The lifeguards at Cookie Point now are under me. So that too was a whole different life learning for me. Right. Whereas, you know, I had to read up on some of the information when it comes to lifeguarding. I have to understand some of the beach terms. I got to understand some of the rules. Not some, a lot of the rules, where at least I could try. I got to try to actually, as far as the lifeguards, try to maintain or help them with continuing training. You know, just shoot ideas of what you should do. I've been part of a couple job interviews for the lifeguard, and the first one I went to, and during the interview, I tell them, if I'll let recreation know, thanks for having me here, but I think I'll call it a day. Ain't no little joke, and I applaud the lifeguards that we have today. I glad that you're actually able to ask me about sports park and recreation, because I would use this platform right now to sell sports park and recreation programs and for people to understand that we as a department, we're steady working. We're not just sitting back and trying not to work. We have different avenues when we communicate, and when we put stuff out, we have to, you know, go to Department of Health. And to the listening audience, I know the phone calls have been coming. Summer camp. When it comes summertime, that has always been a big thing for sports park and recreation. Now we're actually going back into summer camp being in person.
Wow.
In person camps. So people just, you know, still locked. The information will be coming out shortly, but the department, it will be downsized in numbers, but we will be offering, hopefully we will be able to offer some additional stuff. I've actually been in conversation and meeting with some people and finished writing up some paperwork to pass on to the bosses as far as programs that we're hoping to implement into the camps, and hopefully it bites on, and the people gravitate to it at the camps, that we're able to actually carry it over afterwards. So that's the summer camp wall. We have a Learn to Swim. I could talk about programs, you know. We are Learn to Swim program. We are Learn to Swim program here in St. Thomas that we are about to launch beginning late May. That would be on Saturdays. So that information too, again, like I say, will be hitting the road here shortly, late May. Then Take Me to Fishing program, which we're hoping to partner up, which we are partnering up with DPNR to do that program. And we're hoping to partner up with the likes of VI Port Authority. And we have right now as the pilot for the program, the VI Fire Service. the junior firefighters will be on the St. Thomas end, because we never really had it. We never really had it. So we're actually, with them two programs, that would also include assistance from the lifeguards. So now we have a marine unit. We actually including now marine stuff. Learn to swim. The governor's learn to swim program, and take me to fishing with DPNR, VI Fire Service, and hopefully we're able to partner up with VI Port Authority. The program has been going on in St. Croix. It just completed and it was a success. Unlike St. Croix, their fishing areas, unlike St. Thomas. Me never been. I've been fishing maybe once or twice with Bernard. One time with waterfront. So this is where Port Authority plays a role for us. I know a lot of time growing up, the people used to go on the different docks. So before we ain't find the beachfront yet that we might be able to go to fish. We have a shore or whatever, but that's part of the game. We have this now recreation. As we talk recreation, we talking health and wellness. We have been in talk with UVI cell, part of UVI, about a health and fitness, or health and what's it called, health and wellness type of orientation, which includes gardening. That too, that's one of the things we're talking about implementing. We sat down and talked about meeting with Mr. Donovan with the Mukujumbi. So that's another thing, cultural arts. To mention a few other things, the baseball wall. Part of my conversation many times for the baseball wall. When we grew up back in the 80s, 90s, we had a ladder to climb when it come to baseball. We know we're going to play 9 to 12. Then we know 13 to 15, we're going to head Corwin Terrace. Then we know 16 to 21 was single league. And when you're playing 16 to 21, you're playing double A at the same time. So these are things that we want to get back to. And right now, Department of Sports, Park and Recreation is about to launch the RBI program and get it out there in the public, because we know the league wall stops at 16, basically. You ain't got no more big league. So now here it is, we're going to open the door for the opportunity to have a 13 to 15 division and a 16 to 21 type of thing. And then hopefully this would bring back the interest, and then we're able to now get some of the older adults and then come back and play double A. But it's all a ladder, stepping stone. We got this thing called batik. I just learned about it, and it's like a craft where you're doing pillows and stuff, artwork. You draw I want to say a canvas. It ain't a canvas, but you draw with a charcoal.
Yeah.
You outline it, then you dip it in some water. You burn. It's a whole exciting thing that I hope that there are some adults out there who willing to take part and be part of it. Gardening. We actually have trying to do gardening. We have a whole bunch of supplies, reference gardening, and some of that will be used during the summer. But for the baseball wall, people, the RBI program is going to be something that is going to take us for the high school level, the high school to adult level, push us over the top. There's a board form. We have people from abroad people from here living in the U.S. mainland that's assisting us. Right now, I personally am having conversations with some sharp young ladies, when it comes to this softball world, to come to the Virgin Islands and bring their talent and teach our young girls, teach our athletes, get some coaches to adapt and follow on and see what's going on. University, a young lady, Miss Monet, I want to say her name daily. Bad young lady. I saw where she pitched for the BVI. Her father from St. Thomas, her mother Tatola. That kind of mix. She's willing to come back and give us back something. And she's going to bring a couple of her friends once we finalize the proposal, once she works out the proposal. Then we have another young lady from Arizona State that we're talking to. We have one of our own. I've had a conversation with Quado Brannigan to come home with his full circle group to try to fit in. His schedule very hectic, but we gonna find a way to get our people them back in the mix, giving back to our community. You know, they might come the same way that you saying about passion. They might come with a fire passion, not just looking at, you know, they got a dollar bill to make or they got in a free trip.
Right.
They're gonna come with something in place, and that's what we're actually working on as a group, the recreation staff. We have the communication, we have conversations, and ain't no little task, ain't no easy nothing, but it's work. It's work.
All right. So we're coming to the end of our interview here, but before we let you go, we have to have a little bit of fun. We gotta make this thing interactive. This is the best part of the show. Yeah, smile. This is the best part of the show. Trust me.
Some kind of picture and something. Go ahead, man.
You watch the show. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, so season 2, you're the first person on this season. So we come with a little bit of a new game here. You're a baseball player. We're gonna play something we call the alphabet game. Okay. So how long do you have to react to a fastball coming about 96 miles per hour?
How fast?
Yeah, how fast you get to react?
Me think I never face one, but your hands gotta be quick.
About less than a second. So good. So that means as soon as we call this out, you gotta be ready to answer. We don't want you to think about it. We don't want you to reminisce. Give me the answer right away. All right. So it's called an alphabet game. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the letter, the letter of the alphabet. We're gonna go all the way down to K. Since your name is KIRK. So we can start from A, go down to K. The first thing that comes to your mind, we want to hear when you hear that letter, all right? Starting with A.
Alpha.
Why alpha?
You all you tell me is answer. All you tell me is answer. No, I got
back it up. You gotta back it up. Give me something for alpha.
Alpha. Give me something for alpha. It just sound good. Alpha and omega.
All right. You have to give an explanation why after you call the thing out, man. All right, B.
Brother.
Why brother?
All the brotherhood that I have actually gained through sports.
See, no, that's a good one. Because our first alpha one ain't really working for me. But I'll take brother. That was good. C.
Children.
Why children?
All favor mine.
Hey, you're taking the easy way out, no, but that's a good one. That's a blessing already because they're watching right now, definitely supporting daddy. So yeah, you're right. That's a good one. I'll take that. D.
No, Delta.
Like the airline?
I like flying. I like travel.
Listen. That's a good one then. No? So you're telling me you wouldn't, I know. You probably fly American, but you wouldn't fly Spirit, right?
I wouldn't even want to bash them, but Spirit, hey, one thing I could say about Spirit give me my first set of them pretty Air Max, the pretty one, the expensive, the $200 one, them. Spirit, thank you, Spirit.
Hey, now that I think about it, right? We're talking about flying and stuff like that. I guess some girls that have a really good story and really good pictures of you while you're sleeping on a plane. No?
No, you still can't get in the archives, not at all.
All right, E.
Echo.
Why echo? Military.
When you shout out loud, you leave an echo, right?
All right, I hear you. They say KIRK is the loudest person in the ballpark all the time. So you're right, echo. They might need to call you that. F.
Frank.
Who's Frank?
Be direct. Be direct. What happened? You tell me as you come off the top of...
Listen, I say who is Frank like I thought you're talking about a person. No? All right, boy, oh my God, go back to school. What after F? G.
Golf.
You can play golf?
I can't play no golf. I actually wanted to go and play some golf, right? Back then, Vince and like Hugo, them man let you to know, all man who believe is athlete when you first start golf. You gotta get money because you throw away a lot of stick.
So you don't mean golf nothing?
I ain't golfing, but I could try.
So you want to go on a big golf course, you want to go mini golf, because mini golf you can't lose now.
Mini golf you could lose. I want to be on a big course, mister. I want to drive one. I want to see how far I could knock it, mister.
I undefeated in mini golf. I never lose a mini golf game. I probably cheat, but I never lose a mini golf game. I tell you that. I just score myself. So when I score in, I add some extra numbers for myself. So if you play mini golf,
that's what it is.
You're going to lose.
That's what it is?
Definitely. Age.
Hotel.
More traveling.
More travel. More travel. You got it.
All right, let me see. Let me see. I.
Hey. Ink.
Ink?
Yeah, you got a pen. You're writing.
Hey, listen here. You really cheating this game, no? I ain't gonna lie to you.
You tell me as it come out the top of my head.
I looking to hear some high quality answer. You give me the bare minimum, but I appreciate them though. Let me see. Jay.
Jokes.
All right. I could see where you're going with this one here, but what about the jokes? What about the jokes?
It's quite entertaining to actually been around a lot of our youth, our children. Them. You know, they actually, you're able to actually get a lot of jokes. If you're having a bad day sometimes, they find a way to give you that good chuckle.
Listen, that's
even when you believe you could be mad at them, they find a way to like give you the chuckle.
And I think that's what children they for. Like if you go to the bar park, you always have a good time because the children just do either some amazing things or just things that you can't believe they would do. I don't blame you at all.
Something weird. Like a set of them who really been through the hardcore to tell me you're soft now. You're soft. But
all right.
Jokes.
This don't give me nothing but this gotta be the best one here. All right? This gotta be the best one. Don't say cock neither because this ain't working. K.
Kind.
Okay, where we get kind from?
The kindness in me. I'm a kind guy.
All right, okay, we can take that. You had some questionable ones at first because not up to now you can't tell me nothing about alpha, but I can leave that one to go.
That just come up. Alpha.
All right, so you survived the first half. It'll only get funnier as the show goes on. Only get funny. You gotta be serious at first, guy. Make you have your presence there, but at the end, we can really mess with you. So coming up after this, of course, we have to have the pictures. We get some pictures from yesterday. We get some pictures from probably when you were born and everything in between. So we get some pictures here. Well, and I just want you to tell me what happened in these pictures or what you think about or what does it remind you of when you see these pictures. Picture number one.
Hey, that was a big team. That was Storm. That was a championship team. Dale Reimer. Where I get these things from, boy? That was a big team.
What year this is?
I can't tell. That was one of them years when we win a championship, though.
I trying to look at
Shala. You got Shala in that diary, Brock. And I think Brock them in tongue this week.
All right, okay.
That was a big team.
So it's nice little uniform. I like that. I like the vest, old school vibes, vesting.
Yeah, we are a big team. Rashid, Basso, Sean, Chemist. You got Morton, Wato, Mikey, Jason, Dari. Oh, nice team, man.
Let's go moving on to the next picture. Let's see what we have coming up next.
That's when we won some champion. That's a championship. That was a championship night when we actually, I think, I didn't know who we defeat, but that was surely a big team. As you can see, some of us went. May he rest in peace. We got Seneca Day, my sister. May she rest in peace. Again, the same mixture. Rashid, Brito, Chemist. We got Sarah in this one. Pogo, Rio, Shark, Baghdad, Dari. We got a little glare, but Akil is standing. And when I mention Akil and we talk about sports, Akil, if there was a Steph Curry around when Akil coming back from school playing basketball, we would have been seeing Akil Lewis in the NBA may be retiring now.
But,
go ahead.
I'm moving on to the next picture. What?
No, sir. Where you find this one from?
My son?
That look like the 98 team because that's slugger, so that's 99. That look like one 99 All-Star teams. That this team, I think we went. I know. I see slugger. If that is slugger, I know I wind up big. I wind up big back then. I wind up big back then, but that orange and black.
Wait. You can't be forgetting your 98 team you talk about earlier. No way.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking now. That got to be the 98. That's Hansen, yeah. That got to be the 98 team because it's orange and black.
Boy,
we had some wicked jersey, and we had the black and orange, and then we had an orange and black.
This Griffith?
Yeah, that's Griffith.
Boy, the hotel look nice back there. All right, moving on.
I had to get a only Pat Samuel maybe got a kind of picture. I get these things from Pat.
We ain't getting well sorted at all.
This is the 98 team right here, where we actually this team actually put on a show. Ansel Ashivu Senior, KIRK Thomas, you had the likes of Ansel Ashivu, Junior, Boji, Dougie, Rashon, Lamar. You had Lamar and Lamar. You had Dabbins and Walters.
All right, okay. Some
people ain't know.
I really miss the days of seeing the newspaper look like this with our athletes in it. Really and truly.
Yeah. I lost some of mine through the hurricane. I had some articles here.
All right, moving on.
Now this with Slugger. Yeah, this is a team with Slugger. That's 99 or it got to be 99 or 2000. I think that's when we end up we went to Colombia. Probably when we went to Colombia a year later. Well, that same year, I think we end up in Colombia. But we had some games where you actually see a ball leave the park and come back in. That way in Mexico. But
KIRK, you an early team and thing. You get all these jerseys still? I know they probably
I don't have these jerseys, and that's what some weekend ago one of the moms, Miss Gail Irvin Dorset's mother, she actually sent me some pictures of Irvin with like some of his jerseys, and I tell her, listen, them is classic. You can't throw them away. You got to put them up or frame them or do something with them.
Hold on to them.
Some of these things, when you think back and look back, I wish that East and West, I wish we had an archive for some of these jerseys or even like some of the pamphlets or something or the booklets where people could come back and look back and say, you know, their names, they could see the names, they could see a picture hanging on the wall and know that they were part of something.
Maybe we need to start the Little League Hall of Fame and that will get the VI Sports Hall of Fame going. Hey, that might be it. Might have to do that.
Hey, Little League Hall of Fame, tough. Baseball is a tough sport. This what is this? 99. This a 99 team. You got Laquan Perez. Again, you got AJ. We were in Mexico. Yep, this was Monterrey, Mexico. You got Big Lazy. I bet you I can't tell me who's Big Lazy.
I would hope it's the biggest dude, but I feel like it's not.
Nah, Jamoy Christopher. Murphy's Big Lazy. Murphy should have been on this team here, but this was a nice team too. Hey, we had good times. I think I had a lot of good times, but it's interesting to see people really have these pictures still around. Real nice.
Definitely.
This was 2000. This was Colombia. We had Vinci, Papi, Chucky. You got Arta, Ian and Diane, Ali, Pico, may he rest in peace. Avery for honors. You got Laquan. What is one from Bovoni? Lad, they got a nickname now, so You can't call the name no more, but right down here to the left, right down here to the left to the bottom. In Colombia, I believe we play like in an open cricket field. The ball just hit and keep rolling, my son. Them man say all players the same jersey, but we had things.
This is a good one. This is a classic. They need to frame this.
I can't believe somebody really find this for real. This was one of the only times, like I tell you, we had some nice jerseys. That's the orange and black. That's the transformation to the other jersey. That's when we had the winning ways. That's when things was actually steady winning.
This was what? This was 99 and 98?
I look like 98. 98 is who actually had the orange and black. 98 had a lot. Hey, 98 had a lot of uniform. People had like
moving on. This looks a little bit more recent, closer to my time.
2016.
This is one of the teams that you mentioned earlier as well.
Yeah, this is the 2016 All-Star team.
What you had going on here in this picture? Where are you went?
You got Jai, you got Cisco, Son, myself, Kimani Riley, the Barnards, you got Kelvin, Mr. Brown. This was a nice team. Fari, Ivan. This was a bad team. This was a nice. Wakibo. Another nice something here. As you can see, hey, we had colors, man.
Colors, really.
This here was in the Bahamas. This was actually in the Bahamas. We went to a tournament down in the Bahamas where we actually were victorious in the tournament. And as you can see, when we go places, we try to actually look presentable. Don't mind them, you might be able to play shot. But when you leave some place, look good.
Facts. That's it right there.
Look good.
Once you look like you can play.
Once you look like you could play, you could don't intimidate them already. Look Definitely. Good.
It's all about the pre-game appearance sometimes. Whether you're warming up, when you're warming up, you look good. They think you're good too. That's all about it.
I'll know. I'd like to see if we could get back to the Bahamas. The Bahamas, they have a tournament coming up. The Bahamas got a tournament coming up. Yeah, the 2016 team did place second in the championship. We lost the championship to Curacao. This was just recently a nice. Hey, this is what I talk about friendships and these young men from all parts of our school districts came together, play ball. Them are now rapping, or they do some kind of tic-tac rap thing. They look like they're in communication still. Some day ago, I talking to Kimani and he tell me that they have a PlayStation, some PlayStation watch or PlayStation party or something. So it's good to see that. Again, them dudes just, doing the thing, staying together, being friends.
All right, I think we get one more. What is one is?
This one here, you got me looking now. John Mayors. This here, Rasta John. You got me looking at this thing. I want this thing, man. What is going on here? This thing here, you got me looking here for this one for real.
You might get that. This is an old picture, my son. Old.
This one here with Doggy Coach. I think this was it's the Isla Vigenes. So that was when we were back in the Latin American region, Latin American days. I see my runs. I don't know if it's at 13 to 15 and AJ. So it could be a big lead. And what is one with the pretty eyes, her name again? So it's either and John Myers, it's either 15 to 16 or something like that. But wow. Chemo. I really know to find them, sir.
Yeah. That was the last one. You hold your own in that one, day, man. It wasn't too bad. You can find some worse ones though. So in case you come back, we get some worse ones for you. Trust me.
Yeah,
But
Ajayi, pretty eyes. Yeah.
before we go, we have a couple of questions from the viewers that they asked earlier. We'll make sure we write them down so we can ask them to you. They can put them on the screen right here as well. But the first question was: is there a possibility the SPR will be running Little League in the territory in the near future?
That wouldn't be a call of mine. That would have to be something that would be put on the table in one of the meetings. It I don't know if then it was easier than now. I being part of the program back then through DSPR, a lot of us who played under Trevor Joseph, Joe Meat, Glenda, Papa, Gala, Ubu, Roy, that whole mix. It was good. It was good. Alvin Morton was like a drill sergeant when it came to actually being on the ball field, learning the game.
Right.
I believe some of how I came out when I came out of the army and started training and practicing, I actually learned from him. He was one of the best that I think put foot on the ball field. And I talking he practiced from little to big. He wasn't no slouch when it came to actually drilling a team and getting a team prepared. Now, yeah, that's something that would have to be visited and talked up with the bosses. I don't think it's a easy task because then you have to seek funding, and then we might now turn around spoil the parents when they believe that it's a government function again and they ain't got to pay. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't jump up and shout out that yes, DSPR should do it. It is just something that could be visited, and if management sees that it's fitting and it's something that we might be able to handle, then we might be able to take it on. But it's a big task. Ain't no little junction.
Definitely. But another question here. It says, I saw that they are rebuilding the Little League field at the National Park in St. John. Any plans for a St. John team or maybe a St. John League?
Well, Mr. Hill up on the island of St. John will be having some stuff going on. So St. John will be having some baseball, some softball. It will have some games there. Don't think that park will just get built and look pretty and not get used. It will be used. We will be coming from St. Thomas. It will have tournaments and stuff already. Wanka done talking about things rolling and the end of St. John. So yes, to answer that question, St. John will be popping.
So how soon we expect this field to be finished? Because that'd be a great thing to see some ball games get played over there.
It ain't just now we're done. You know what I mean? It's gonna take some time, new poles, lighting and stuff. I remember our days of playing league and we go in St. John. You can't jump off the dock no more. But before, 911, you could have jumped. When you go to St. John, you could have jump off the dock. That was our thing. Before we head back St. Thomas, when you playing in St. John, you pack your bag with something to jump off the dock with. After the game, you must get down to the dock before you head back St. Thomas and jump off the dock. You had the St. John rookies. That was a big thing. You got Mr. Wells, Slugger. Them were big. So that gonna happen. Things like that gonna be rolling again.
We have another question here that says, is there any chance we can get back the AA league or a fast pitch softball league?
Well, like I said, I already kind of answered kind of double it earlier. When it comes to the double league, we had the ladder back when we were growing up. Right now, some of the staff, along with myself, we've had conversation. We're trying to, figure out how we could best present it and make it happen. We have to have that ladder. We need the ladder. We need the ladder. You have the 9 to 12, the 13 to 15, 16 to 21. Then you have that double A type of baseball. But just know, we just can't believe that it's going to happen. And we the players, don't have some kind of registration fee to pay. Baseballs ain't cheap enough. He had 1 year, he shipped home a case of baseball, it was $10. After the hurricane, it went to $150 for that same exact case. just to ship it home. So yeah, you're gonna got to pay. Something will happen. We a lot of we want thing. We want thing, but we don't want to pay for thing.
Definitely. All right. So we come into our
fast pitch ball for sure. That's something that Richie and Bolo them been talking about. But our biggest problem with fast pitch ball, how many people we have throwing fast pitch? Okay. This is where we as a department coming now. We're trying to get some talent. A man could learn from a young lady. So if we have clinics for the young ladies with your ball, couple men could come and maybe learn a thing or two. Some of the boys, so that's something we'll have to, further talk about. But to have fast pitch ball, you gotta pitching. Me talking about having modified pitching in fast pitch ball. I talking about somebody slinging it on a steady basis. The Frankie Saws, the Frankie Blue, them kind of thing. Sheep and them man throwing the ball back. That's what I talking about when we talking fast pitch ball.
Now we come into our close here, but a lot of athletes right now are in a hard place in life because honestly, we ain't playing as much sports as we should be playing right now, or we could be playing right now. What is your message to the athletes that are kind of going through that hard time where they kind of dejected because their sport isn't playing? Anything that can motivate them to keep going and keep wanting to play sports?
Don't be dejected, Here, well, if we those of us who live here in the Virgin Islands, I talking the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix, Water Island, those of us who live here, you have your backyard. I started in my backyard. You have neighbors, you have friends. I could still team up and get together. I could still play in an open field. I could still do that. Right now, the parks are open for training purposes. But a pickup game, you can't just go on a facility and play a pickup game. So why not find an open field? Why not find an open field and find a pickup game? You could get spongy. We used to play with sponges and mapstick, or spongy and pickaxe. You know what I'm saying? It's still possible. If you're a runner, we have the roads. You got to beach them. Tennis open. The tennis courts are there. You got one here, McBean. You got, Subbase. Use the tennis courts. You got UVI. And you might have to ask for permission at UVI. But for our athletes, we have our environment that we can use. We can use it. We can utilize it. So we ain't like we lacking. Once we violating nothing and vandalizing nothing, we could still do it. As a community, you could still band together and have something done.
Definitely. I agree. Now give a shout out. Well, I know you can big up first, but you gotta give a shout out to anybody who supports you in life, in any organization you've been a part of, any coaches, any players. Let's give a shout out to anybody that you would like to right now before we go.
You trying to put me in bacchanal. I just gonna say shout out to one and all, to the family, to everybody. Who listen. Sometimes you got people that do sit down and listen and try to understand what's coming across, what's going on. Ain't everybody, you got people you're going to have differences with any given day. But at the same time, you have 2 ears, 1 mouth. That means listen first, then talk after sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Both, communication goes both ways. So that's just something that we as a whole, or I too, need to understand. And that's why I say shout out to all the chat groups, all my massive, family, friends. Thanks for tuning in. This is just me.
Definitely. We appreciate you coming on, KIRK. You're definitely gonna be in the same show, regardless what I'm for live. You're on the first episode of season 2, so you get all of it already. But we definitely want to know coming on, sharing your story, getting some good information all day.
I upset. The one picture that ain't show is the one that got all the little placards showing that me no ham. That me no ham. But
you know what, you might save it and post it on the page to make you feel a little bit better.
but it was nice. It was nice. It was entertaining. I like the platform. Like why you keep doing what you're doing. Keep our community involved and informed. And it was a nice thing to actually pass on some of the ideas that DSPR on the St. Thomas St. John side have in mind. It's great. DSPR in a whole trying to do things for the community in the territory the Virgin Islands. So our biggest thing, we have to find the way to just get our message out. And I must say, Live Wire, a lot of what you do with our athletes abroad, I must say, enough big ups. I have learned of people that I didn't even know had ties to us here in the Virgin Islands that amazed me. But I know he had one that I was supposed to pass on information to her, to Miss Robinson, to Lorena. The number 12 draft pick in the NFL for the 2021 draft. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys. He has BVI ties. He is tied to the British Virgin Islands through his grandfather. He was actually born in Pennsylvania, but his grandfather is from the BVI. I don't know who, but I spoke to the grandfather some day ago. He called me and we had a conversation. It was just interesting that, he called to talk about his grandson. And, we got into speaking my background, my Tilbert Fleming, Bellevue, Etobot Thomas, Langlook, Tatola. So it was an interesting conversation to have, being that I too have them Tatola roots. But yeah, Micah Passing, like when you read up on him, but when you get it into the intel, the background that's it. But what y'all doing is big. Y'all don't have sport to be a game, you have it to be a business, and I must applaud you all. Kudos goes out to your entire team, Shaq.
Definitely. I just wish Mr. Parsons to get drafted from a good team instead of the Cowboys. That's horrible, but we'll take it.
Richie won't be upset at you, but Cowboys,
hey,
where is that?
One more thing for you before you go, Cobb. One more thing. Surprise.
That's what you're talking about. You get rid of all the trophy them. You get rid of all the trophy them and put them in a little frame and you have them. That's what you're talking about.
That's a dope idea right there. I never seen nothing like that. I like that. That's really dope.
When you're tired of dusting thing and seeing trophy, you get rid of them and that's what came about with that.
You're a safe space too, because you want a lot of
trophies. You might keep one of the big 7-footers, but you save a lot of space.
All right, once again, Cobb, thanks for coming out. We appreciate you. Definitely enjoy hearing your story, hearing your viewpoints and a lot of stuff. And definitely, we can keep you in the loop anytime, anything with Live Wire is happening.
All right, bless. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right. Live Wire fans is back next week. We have a new day. We are no longer on Tuesdays. We are now moving to Mondays. So Mondays at 7:30. You can come right here and check us on Between the Lines here live on Live Wire Sports. Stay tuned. Follow the page for all the updates on local and athletes abroad. Any of your favorite athletes, any favorite sports, leagues, we have it all at Live Wire. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Have a good night and see you next week, Monday.
Peace.
I'm doing great, even though every day's not fine. But still I woke up today, another day to get on my grind. Got me singing, oh, oh, oh. Effort I'm built for pioneering. Oh, oh, oh. Effort I'm built for pioneering.